Okay guys, so I'm just going to walk through one more law of sines problem if you're still struggling with the whole one triangle versus two triangles. So this happens when you have one angle and two sides, because then I'm solving for an angle. So I set up my triangle, I have my opposites here for angle A. So I set up sine of 60 over 9 equals sine of c over 10. That's the only thing I can find first. So I get sine of c by itself. And at this point, this is a decimal. Anytime you have sine of an angle equals some decimal, you have to use inverse sine. So I get my decimal, and just like when it says sine of c equals a half or sine of c equals 1/5, like on the very top of the worksheet for the original notes we took, inverse sine is going to be positive in quadrant 1. So your calculator will give you a quadrant 1 answer. But sine is also positive in quadrant 2, so you have to consider this. So once I have my decimal in my calculator tells me angle C is 74.2. So that's my quadrant 1 answer, 74.2. So then I go to quadrant 2, and if this is the reference angle, then this reference angle is also 74.2. So I start at 180 and I subtract back. Just like if you had 30, you get 150. Or if you had 11, you'd get 169. So I'm just subtracting off the 74.2. So I have my two answers for angle C. At that point then, option 1 is where angle C is 74.2. Or option 2 is where angle C is 105.8. Now either way, angle A is 60. So at this point then, I can subtract and get angle B. So if A is 60 and C is 74.2, then B has to be 45.8. Or if A is 60 and C is 105.8, then B has to be 14.2. Now, the time this doesn't work is if A and C together are greater than 180, because then there's nothing left for angle B, so then you wouldn't have to deal with that second triangle. At this point, you have all three angles. You still need to find side B. So you're going to do law of sines here. Sine of 60 over 9 equals sine of angle B 45.8 to find that B. Or totally new ratio, sine of 60 over 9 equals sine of the 14.2, and solve for that B. So you have to do two separate calculations to get your two separate side B's.